you are failing because of this one thing. So I was having a chat with a prospect today, and pretty standardized question, I imagine, with any form of coaching, but definitively with mine, is what result are you hoping to achieve? If we took you 12 months from now, what result would you want to achieve that would make you go, fuck yeah, this was the best investment I've ever made in my life? And so they start going, and they're like, oh, well, I want to get rid of the stomach and the tits, and, I'm 20 kilos overweight, and, I just hate how I look in the mirror, and I'm sick of that. I was like, okay, fair enough, that makes sense. All right, cool. Keep in mind this is for personalized training. This is 100% custom built for them. I'm like, sweet. So in the back of my head, I'm starting to run through the things that we could do. And then they're like, oh, but, I'm waiting on a partial knee reconstruction. And so my knee's all fucked up. And I was like, right, okay, so what are we looking to do with that? And they're like, oh, well, I need to lose the weight for that, but I also want to get my knee as strong as humanly possible so that I can recover quicker from the surgery. I was like, okay, yep, right, that makes sense, but we're now playing two very different games. And they're like, oh, and also, before I get my knee reconstruction, I'm going on a holiday, and we're going hiking, and I want to get super fit for that so that I can, keep up and do the right hikes and really enjoy this holiday because I spent lots of money on it. So I want to be able to enjoy it to the maximum capacity. I was like, oh, okay, right, yep, sure. And then they were like, oh, and also, like, I really want to build some muscle. Like, I feel like I'm too small and too lean, and I don't want to be like a small person. I was like, right. And I don't like that I'm weak, so I want to get strong as well. It's like, all right, time to pump the brakes. We need to haul back on this thing. And I was like, you have picked 5 distinctly different goals that would require 5 different sets of programming and styles and efforts and how we'd attack this. You need to pick one goal, one thing, and become hyper fucking focused on it. Just do one thing and go all in on that. And they're like, oh no, but I want to achieve all those things. And I'm like, I'm not saying you can't, but you can't right now. You can't right this second. You can't do everything at once. You only have so much energy to give for each task. And if you go, let's go in 5 different complete opposite directions, it's not going to work. Yes, focusing on certain goals will build to other goals, and you can have parallels that run through it, but you need to have one main focused goal. And the reason why I see so many people fail is that they try and divert their energy into too many things at once. It was like when I was talking the other day about addiction and how I've ended up back on drinking the monsters, something that I am unhappy about. But when I'm tackling larger, bigger issues, bigger things that matter to me, something's going to drop off. When we're changing massive components of our life, something has to fall off somewhere. You can't give your all to absolutely everything. It doesn't work like that. You need to pick a goal. You need to pick something and hyper focus on it. And just focus on the tasks that are there. Create action goals for that outcome and just do that. And just focus on that. The reason why I see lots of people fail is one of twofold. One, they've diverted their goals across 4, 5, 6, sometimes more options. And so they're giving small amounts of energy to lots of different things, thus not actually achieving very much in each of those areas. or they program hop. So they're like, oh, well, I want to work on strength building today. And they'll do that for a month. And they're like, now I want to get shredded. So they do that for a month. Oh, now I want to build lean muscle. So they do that for a month. And they just keep bouncing around from program to program to program. And so you just keep starting from zero. You just keep starting over and you keep starting again at the beginning. The power of a good program is often that it's fucking boring, that it's just consistent, that you just keep following the same sequence for a long period of time. Like where I'm up to. We're 240 odd days into this. People are like, aren't you bored? Aren't you sick of this? Aren't you just doing the same thing over and over and over again? Yeah, and it's fucking working. And I would, like, why wouldn't you stick with a program that is delivering you the results that you want for as long as it's delivering the results that you want? As long as you're still making progress forward, don't fix what ain't broke. Like, keep moving forward on that front. And yes, you can make small tweaks and adjustments to level up the results that you are, so you keep getting even better results. But don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, just keep moving forward with the program. If you keep chopping and changing, if you keep deciding that this is not for you, and you move on to the next thing, you are missing out on all the benefit that comes from doing it long term. Momentum, momentum, momentum. That is the thing that you want to chase above all else. It is the thing that will deliver you the most incredible results. It's the thing that will change everything. Most of my results at this point don't come from the work I do today. It comes from the work I've done for 240 days. It comes from those areas that I just kept showing up. I kept doing the work. I kept winning the day and winning in all those areas. I kept building that momentum. That's why I'm winning. Not from the effort I gave today, but the effort I give today will ensure that I win in the next 50 days, in the next 100 days. That's the difference, that you just gotta keep building the momentum. But if you keep, slamming on the brakes and starting over, you're never gonna get there. It's like if you're trying to drive to Melbourne from Sydney and you get halfway there and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to go to Melbourne anymore. Let's go to Queensland. Let's go to Brisbane. And so you turn around and you start driving to Brisbane. And you're like, actually, you know what I feel like? Let's go to Tasmania. So you start driving to Tasmania, and then you're like, you know what? Let's go to Perth. So you start heading there and you're like, no, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go to Darwin. That's what it's like. And all you're doing is driving around in fucking circles and never getting anywhere that you want to go. That's what most people's programming is like. That they just keep changing their minds. So they're just aimlessly driving in one direction for a period of time. And then get frustrated when they don't end up where they want to be. Why the fuck didn't I get to my destination? Because you changed your mind 5 fucking times before you were halfway there. You have to just keep following the plan. You have to keep following the programming and just trust that you are going to get to your end destination. And part of that is why we set action goals versus outcome goals. Yeah, I wanted to get fit. Yeah, I want to have a six-pack. Yeah, I want to be in great shape. All that kind of stuff. But what I focus on are the things that are going to deliver my biggest bang for buck. My weighted walk. My weighted workouts, eating an animal-based diet, drinking 4 liters of water. These kinds of things I know are going to deliver me the results. And I focus on nailing the action goals. And I let the outcome goal happen because I have dialed in my action goals to the 9. So it's not just I do a weighted walk every day. I do a weighted walk that pushes me, that gets me into zone 2 of my heart rate, that gets me into that specific time. So the 10 kilo weight vest doesn't do that shit for me anymore. I need to level up. The 20 kilo weight vest does it if I really crank the speed, but only if I'm really pushing myself. And even then, it's starting to progress into a bit of a run. Like some areas of it, I'm starting to run with the weight vest to get to that level. So that's not optimal. The 30 kilos still does it. I can still walk, I can still get that kind of stuff. So there's less impact on my joints. So I alternate between the 30 and the 20. But those are the things that I have to nail those action goals. So every single day I wake up and I make sure I'm cranking that. My weight training, the outcome on that has shifted from being fit and strong as possible. It is rehabbing the areas. So I focus on nailing that rehab. So I do lots of shoulder work. I do lots of knee work. I do lots of ankle work. I do things like this that are going to allow my body to function at the highest level, because I decided if I wanted to go far, not just fast, I had to start addressing these areas. I had to start doing the work in these areas. So I don't program hop. I don't program change. I'm building this foundation. I'm building this super solid strength foundation. Does that mean things don't catch my eye? Fuck no. The amount of times I'm walking past and I'm like, fuck, I need to lean out. I need to really just dial in and get leaner. And I'm like, no, we are fixing our weak areas. We are becoming bulletproof. We are building a bulletproof body, because my ultimate outcome, my long-term outcome, is to be the fittest, strongest father I can be till the day I fucking drop dead. That's the goal. So that doesn't necessarily mean right here, right now, to have the biggest muscles, to have the greatest six-pack, to be as lean as fucking possible. No, it means long-term, my body needs to be bulletproof. It needs to be able to handle anything. So those niggling injuries that I have from a fucking decade ago when I thought I was Superman, those need to be addressed. They should have been addressed then. They weren't. So now I have to pay the toll. We spoke the other day of you can either pay the price of discipline and focus now, or the price of regret later. This is me paying the price of regret, but I'm willing now to put in the price of discipline to fix these issues, so that in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years from now, 60 years from now, I'm not still paying the price of regret for the things I did when I was in my 20s. I don't want to be that guy. So I make the right choices. I do the right things. We are now paying that price, but I don't program hop. I still look at myself in the mirror. I'm like, man, I should get bigger. I should do a bulk. I should, see how much mass I can put on. No, all of that shit can come later. All of that stuff can be dialed in and built to the nines later, once I have nailed this start, once I have nailed this component. So I've got to fucking start here. I've got to start at building the foundation. But the problem is, so many of us, and as I said, that drawer is there for me, but so many of us want to program hop. We want to build to the next thing. We want the new and exciting. We want to take on this thing right now, right here. No. Build your foundation. Do the foundation work. Slug it out. Just keep showing up consistently. You need to stick with a plan, a program, a style for at least 6 months, if not longer. Potentially, actually, ideally 12 plus months, just on one goal, and just be consistent and just keep showing up. And that is where you'll find your greatness. That is where you'll find that breakthrough. It's not in the here and now. It's not in the simple work. It's in the long-term work that comes from just continuing to show up, to be consistent. More often than not, I look at personal trainers and people who design programs, and the reason why people don't want to follow through is that they don't explain this part of it. Now, good programming is often fucking boring. It means it's often repeated, and we're looking to make the incremental gains in each area each week. We're not looking to do something brand new every single workout, and every single week is a whole new take on different things. No, you just want to be consistent. We're going to do this, and we get a little bit better. Every week we get a little bit better. We just focus on getting a little bit better. We don't go, oh, I've had enough of this. Let's do the next thing. Oh, let's have another of this. Let's do the next thing. That's not how it works. It's why dipping in and out of, fitness classes and stuff never truly actually delivers great results. Because you need to be consistent. You need progressive overload. You need to just gently, progressively get better at it. And you need the momentum. Again, that's why there's no days off. It's why it's every single motherfucking day. Because it's about showing up every single day to build the momentum. to also become that person who has built that momentum and that habit and that consistency and that foundation that's going to carry you through. That foundation that's going to be like, oh, well, here is this really strong fucking base. And then when you add to it, and then when you build the accessories on top of it, it just goes like gangbusters because you put in the work, you did the time, you built up those things. Then it shows up later. Then it comes through later. That's where you need to be. That's the stuff you want to focus on. You want to build the foundation now so that long term you can just bank on what you've already established. If you're constantly changing, you never build the foundation and you're starting all over again from scratch. So build the foundation. Put in that work. Make it nice and strong and bulletproof so that you can keep building upon it. You know, it's like the old fable about where do you build your house? Do you build it on the sand or you build it on the rock? The man who built it on the sand, yes, it happened quicker, but it got washed away in the first storm. The man who built it on the rock, it was weathered the storm and lasted forever. That's what we are trying to do. We are trying to build on the rock. We are trying to set you up so that it'll last forever and it's not going to disappear in the first storm, in the first sign of adversity. It's not going to just wash away. You're going to hold firm and hold strong and be able to withstand it. And then you use the momentum to keep building on that foundation and just reinforce it and reinforce it and reinforce it so that you can become absolutely bulletproof. So this is my challenge to you right here, right now, is for you to pick one goal, one thing, and become hyper-focused on it. Just be hyper-vigilant on it and just go all in on that one thing. No days off, no exceptions, no breaks, just doing that one thing over and over and over again. Build that foundation until it's fucking bulletproof, and then add the next thing, and then add the next thing, and bit by bit by bit, build up over time, just trusting the process and trusting that. So setting that foundation up and building it with outcome, not on the outcomes, but on the action goals, focusing on this is what needs to get done here and now, in this moment. This is what you got to do. You just got to keep showing up and build those action goals. I can give you a really simple one. I can give you that first action goal right now. Message me. Get yourself into chasing greatness. Start the process off right. Start it off now. Begin that process. Start building your foundation super strong, under guidance, with a backed program that has shown to deliver results. Start there and then progress from there. You will be shocked at what happens when you build a beautiful, strong foundation. Now, if you're not quite there, click the link in my bio, grab my top 10 tools to transform your mental toughness. And lastly, if you took value from this, if it spoke to you, if it inspired you in any way, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'm here every single day, leading from the front, leading from my experiences, sharing as I go through this process. And I want to share with you. I want to inspire you. And I want to lead that. So I'll be here again tomorrow. And I hope you're back again then. Until then.